So guys, for those who haven't seen this, Technical's made a video called "The Victims of Leffen," and I was mentioned on it somewhere around it. I don't remember where, somewhere in the middle. So I just made a comment so people would know my thoughts, and I wanted to elaborate on that comment. Alright, so I basically said that I really don't like drama and negativity. I basically just want a happy life and be more peaceful as time goes on, especially as I'm getting older. Just want more peace, basically. And I didn't really want to make the video that I felt kind of forced to make 4 years ago. I was even 50-50 on not including it in my book just to show like how impactful it was. Like I wrote the whole chapter of my book like 5 years ago, and I was like debating should I even release this or not, back and forth with my editors. Like I wasn't even sure. That's how much I was like. And now it's supposed to be like a big, impactful point in a book. So it was very impactful in my life, but I wasn't even sure if I was going to even do it there. I do think people deserve a chance to change, but it might just be me being too naive and nice. I'm not really sure. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt and a chance to improve over time. So when Leffen apologized to me, I knew that was like, okay, it may or may not be genuine. You know, you could take him for his word or not. I'd rather give people the benefit of the doubt if possible, because that's pretty much how I was raised and also just the way I want to be. So I don't always forgive people for everything. There were some people that have done stuff that's like, I can't even excuse them for it. Like some people I just don't want to be associated with because of things they've either done to me, which isn't always publicly known, or just for whatever reason. I don't really want to talk about that here. It's a different topic. But yeah, I can't always tell. I don't always make the right decision. A lot of times it's opinion and it's hard to tell. There's one thing I'm very sure on though, is that Hack's money should not be banned for life. I think that's a little ridiculous. I'm not saying he shouldn't be punished, but I don't think that him being banned for 3 years, or no, let me restart. I think Hack should have been punished, and I think 3 years was more than fair, in my opinion. But I don't think he should be banned for life. And especially when you're talking about consistency in the community, when you're talking about like, oh, I'm gonna give equal treatment to this person as this person, if that's like considered, I don't think it's fair that a lot of people do like really bad stuff, and then other people do things of a similar level, arguably even not to the same degree. But the person who does the worst thing goes unpunished, and the people who do bad things but not to the same degree of bad get the lifetime. That seems kind of backwards and inconsistent. I feel like at the very least they should be in a similar situation. It shouldn't be like backwards, let alone drastically different backwards, you know? So I did want to talk about that real quick, and I wanted to like elaborate on the comment that I made. So I do think he should have been punished, but I don't think he should have been lifetime banned. I do get a lot of hate and controversy for this. A lot of people are like thinking, oh, well, I benefit. No, I don't benefit in any way. I'm literally just, it's going to sound dumb, but I just think I guess nobody else is speaking up, and it's like, okay, I mean, if I don't, then his life is screwed. And I think this is wrong, so I want to speak up, you know? There's really nothing for me to gain, or the risk-reward ratio of me speaking up, I would say, is quite poor. I'm just doing it because I thought it was the right thing to do, and I want to help my friend, you know? Yeah, he's my friend. I'm biased. So what? I don't deny that. And I really don't like how Reddit, Twitter, and social media is very bandwagony. It's really just like, oh, what is 60% of people agreeing on, and then 60% becomes 90% in no time, and then it's just like, it's kind of brain dead and mindless. That's why I really hate like social media nowadays. It's kind of annoying. That's why I just stream nowadays. I just stream. It's a little less toxic on streaming than it is on social media, where people just trying to be negative for likes, and the algorithm promotes it, and it's just so bad. So it ain't what it used to be. Or maybe it was always like this. I just realized it recently. I don't know. Oh yeah, I was quite depressed after I made that video 4 years ago, so I really did not want to make that. I do think Leffen is part of the reason, but, you know, I'm also not going to be stupid and be like, oh, he's the whole reason, and that's ridiculous too. I'm mad at the part he played, obviously. At the same time, I also don't think the person who did it, the person who spread the rumor in the first place. Apparently he got banned from the project I'm seeing in his state. But I think that's like intentionally, that's like slander. Like he even admitted, yeah, I lied. And I feel like it should have been, Right? He low key could have just been sued, or I was like 50-50 on suing because that is actually just slander, and I really did not want to be in that situation. So I really did not like that. I could have sued a lot of people. I could have sued Leffen. I could have sued that guy, but I wanted to take the higher road, I guess. I don't know if that was the right or wrong decision. I'm just more about like giving people the benefit of the doubt and forgiveness, right? I honestly think I want to say I blame my mom for this because she always raised me to be like that, for the whole like Jesus Christ and Christianity and forgiveness and stuff. And I'm not going to claim to be an expert on that, but I've always been a little biased, leaning toward that direction because of like religion teachings of my mom and who I want to become, you know. So I wanted to talk about that, mention that a bit. So I do want to say that I think the community does not. Now, if there's a big sample size of like bad things people have done, if there's like a giant sample size of, oh, this guy did 100 million bad things, okay, well, that's one thing. Or if someone does something that's truly evil and vile and completely unforgivable, that's also another thing. In my personal opinion, I don't think Hack's money hit those two check marks. You could debate that he did, and in my personal opinion, he didn't. I think a punishment was in order, but I don't think it should have been lifetime. I think it should have like matched the degree of badness, if you know what I'm saying. That's just my opinion, you know. Just saying it. That's some other stuff I wanted to say. I'm trying to remember what it was. It is one of the reasons I moved away from the gaming community, although there actually were people in the gaming community that were a lot more negatively impactful to me, that I don't want to talk about in this. Maybe I'll mention it in a future video. That's not for this. But yeah, I do think people in the community should stop trying to just like cancel everybody and lifetime ban on everybody for like, I don't want to say for no reason, but I feel like in the past 5 years, people have been kind of overdoing it with the like, oh, this person did a bad thing, lifetime ban. This person did a bad thing, cancel. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. Like, there are certain things that are unforgivable. And when the sample size is ridiculously large, that's also another thing. But I also think people should have the chance to be able to change and improve over time, too. And I think people don't do that enough. I think people just like, they're just so obsessed with, oh, this guy didn't have a perfect life, let's get rid of him. Like, bro, the truth is, if everybody's, in my opinion, if people's like worst moments of their life was like all in public display for everyone to know, then I think most people would just be considered bad. Like, if you look at somebody and they're like, okay, they did all these good things, but then you only like compile and look at only the bad parts of their life, it's like, okay, well, yeah, you could kind of you could just make them look like shit, even if they're good 90% of the time, bad 10%. That's why I've never been a fanatic about this. I'm just speaking in general. Now, if there's like a super large amount of data, that's one thing. But if you're just like picking and choosing like the bad parts, that's another. I'm just speaking in general. I'm not even like having one thing in mind when I say this. I just think in general, people are too, I don't want to say evil, but maybe social media brings out the worst in people, or maybe it's the loud minority, or I don't know what it is. I've been not really liking how negative people have been over the past, ever since the cancel year in 2020. It's just too much, way too much negativity, way too much obsessing over this guy did a bad thing in their life. Yes, most people have done bad things in their life. I've done bad things in my life. I've done things I regret. And some people think I'm an angel. I did other people, and I'm not. I'm just another normal guy who's done a lot of good things and also made my share of bad mistakes. That is most people. And that is why I can't get behind it, because then it's like, and then if you have like a lot of followers, it's like people target you more because they just get a rush out of let's take the big guy down. I'm like, it's just it's so annoying, bro. And sometimes it is deserved. There is things that are truly unforgivable. But then there's also things where people are growing and learning over a period of time. And I think people can't really separate them. So this is some of the stuff I wanted to talk about, because people are obsessed with canceling. You know, I probably could have, in a sense, been like, hey, you know what, Leffen? I don't forgive you. And then he might be banned. But I don't want to do that because that's not who I want to be. I don't benefit off doing that. I would benefit off suing. That's where I benefit, because then I would make money. I didn't want to do that. And I think a lot of people are not the same, and that's okay, I guess, but I don't know. Maybe I just don't see eye to eye with a lot of people. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should have done that. Some people are saying that I was being too nice and naive. Now I want you guys to think of a hypothetical situation. Let's take this hypothetical situation. Let's say that I didn't forgive Leffen. Does that mean he's banned or should be banned? Now, let's also take this hypothetical situation. Let's say that Leffen did forgive Hacks. Is that the thing that makes Hacks get unbanned? What if I was less forgiving, and what if Leffen was more forgiving? In different universes, in different hypothetical scenarios. Does that change who is and isn't banned? Because I kind of feel like it almost does, in a way. It's hard to say a hypothetical universe that doesn't exist, but I'm just saying in theory. And that's what this is like stuff that just goes through my head, and it's like, when I think about that and think about, well, that's probably what would have happened, it just seems kind of dumb to me. I don't know. Again, these are just my opinions. I'm not forcing you guys to agree with me or not. But yeah, some people said I should or should not forgive Leffen, and I feel like that's kind of debatable. But I wanted to go that way because that's how I think it's right to treat others that way. I think that's the better path to heaven, which you could argue is a selfish reason. But it is what it is. This is how I want to be, And I think I wish more people in the world were like that. Just in general. I'm just speaking in general, like everybody to everybody. No, with that said, even myself, I do not always forgive everybody for everything. And I don't like to put people on public blast. Like, I could be the guy that just leaks my DMs with Leffen, but I think that's kind of effed up to do that, because that's private messages for a reason. That's like a betrayal of trust, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that type of stuff, so people are, like, obsessed with that. It's like, it's just such a negative environment on, like, online, like, social media nowadays. That's why I've been, like, you haven't seen me around as much. And usually when I tweet, I'm not really scrolling very often. I mean, I do, but compared to how much I did, like, 5 years ago, it's, like, way less than that, you know what I'm saying? Now, I really think Hacks should not be banned for life. I think that is absurdly ridiculous. Now, I do think that what he did was wrong. I just don't think it's lifetime ban-worthy level of wrong. If you're using consistent logic across different parties, which is one of the things I find stupid, in my personal opinion. I think even if you don't have the same opinion with me, and it's fine if you don't have the same opinion with me, I think that is, I think that point is at least valid, So yeah, that's just some things I think. You could disagree with everything I'm saying, that's fine, but I thought it was, like, at least right to speak up on it. Like, I'm friends with Hacks, and no, I do not benefit at all from him being banned or unbanned. In fact, if I ever came back to competitions and he was unbanned, that's technically one more threat to consider, but I don't really like thinking that way. I think that's kind of stupid. But yeah. I don't think Hacks should be banned for life. Do you think Hacks should be banned for life? I think, the idea of, like, the punishment should fit the crime, I think that should be more of a thing more often. Yeah, there's also people in the community that actually have threatened violence on me, people who are bigger and stronger than me that have done that. There's also been people that have been trying to, like, bring me down for, like, or talk down about me with using their influence for, like, 10, 15 years, which I could talk about some of that in another video. Those people are gone unpunished. And I guess part of the reason is it's my fault, because I didn't make it a big deal at the time in terms of being a public spectacle. I could have, and maybe in hindsight, maybe I should have, but I didn't. But I guess maybe I'm unconsciously biased because I know my own personal experiences, and I know how people have done a lot of things a lot worse than Hacks' videos, and they are unpunished. But again, this could just be me just being like, well, maybe it's because it's not public knowledge, or I waited too long, or I don't know. Or I was just trying to always take the nice guy road. And maybe the nice guy road is the coward road, but I wasn't, it's not really, because I actually was thinking empathetically, like, okay, well, then their lives are ruined. But I'm not always consistent either, so maybe I'm being hypocritical, because there have been times that people have threatened me, and I have tried to get them banned, but there's also times people threaten me and I didn't, and maybe I was being inconsistent with my emotions in the moment. I don't know. I don't even know if I should even be allowed to say what I'm saying, because even I myself am not 100% consistent. I am my own flawed human with my own in the moment emotions and stuff too. So maybe I don't even have a right to speak. But yeah. Yeah, but it's very easy for other people, viewers, to say show the receipts and stuff because you guys strictly benefit off of entertainment, whereas it's not like that for the people actually involved. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really agree with that logic for that type of reason either. Like, it's very easy as like the spectator to want more drama and content because that's what Smash community and viewers are obsessed with. They just want more drama and content. But I actually don't like that. I don't like negativity. I don't like that stuff. And the thing is, I'm not even the exact same person as I was like a decade ago. As I get older, I guess you could say growing up or something, more than 10 years ago, like I've cleared up my language. I've cleared up my the way I try to treat others, like morality. Just I would say that I've overall improved in these types of areas over the past decade. When I was younger, I didn't give as much crap. I was just a normal flawed kid like a lot of other flawed kids at 20s. But it took me a lot longer time to grow up. But I guess maybe it's because I'm 35 now. I'm just like, I don't want to be that person. Or I want to be a lot less that person than I was in the past, at least. Like, I want to go toward improvement, at least. And I think, I don't know. I have so many thoughts, bro. I have so many thoughts on the topic. But yeah, the short version is I don't think hacks should be lifetime ban. I think the punishment was fine. And I also don't even think the terms he agreed to was, like, good terms. Like, there was, like, a lot of, like, oh, you can't talk about your ban, you can't this or that, and hope that one day you get unbanned. It's like, I don't know. There was just a lot of things that I would not have agreed to. It's just, I don't know. That's just what I think. It has a lot of ridiculous terms. And yeah, I get it. He wasn't, like, consistent with those terms. And he's obsessed. He probably has mental health problems. I have mental health problems, too. I don't think that's a reason to be banned for life, though. I think it's a reason to be banned for a little bit. I think it's also a reason you need help, and I probably need help, but it's not a lifetime ban reason. But yeah. Anyway, those are just some quick thoughts. And I wanted to explain that because a lot of people ask you about that stuff, and just want to talk about it a little bit. No, dude. We were all flawed in logic, bro. Now we all used bad language a decade ago. But the thing is, back then it was the norm. Back then, it was so much more common back then. Like, my brawl playstyle is like, GAY. Like, it didn't even mean the same thing back then as it does nowadays. Nowadays, it's like super evil to say that now. But it wasn't like the same evil. Like, it was like the normal common sentence that somebody would say to me or other people. That was normal. It didn't have the same meaning at that time. And people don't think about that either. Or maybe they do. I don't know. So that's why I think that type of stuff is silly. I think where a person's heart is and their goals to be better in the future, I think that, to me, is important. I think that is, like, in my opinion, the more grown-up way to think. Because if you just take the worst part of people's lives, especially if it's a long time ago, then most people are shitty. Dude, I was in a fist fight in 6th grade. I'm going to talk about this in my book. So am I a bad person because I got in a fist fight with somebody in 6th grade? I gave violence to another person because he was pushing me into a locker. So with that logic, I'm a terrible person for life because I got in a fist fight. But that's dumb. I think people should be able to evolve, have a chance to improve, unless it's, like, so bad that, like, okay, there's no possible way to forgive X thing. I don't want to say what it is, but there's no, like, something that's super unforgivable. That obviously is an exception. Or when you've done, like, hundreds of terrible things in your life and it's like, okay, you're just clearly bad. That's another thing. But if you just, like, oh, I did a few bad things in my life, it's like, okay, yeah, are you better for it now? Like, I think that's how it should be usually, in my opinion. I don't know. These are just I guess I'm just ranting about random stuff now. I have a lot of, like, I guess I'm off topic, though. I have, like, a lot of unrelated stuff in my mind. I think more of the community in Smash should be more forgiving unless the thing is completely unforgivable. That's my personal opinion. So I just wanted to talk about that for a bit. I think I had more in my mind, but just I have so many thoughts and they're just going everywhere, and I probably forgot to say some things. I don't know. Yeah, and I also don't like. I get kind of like I kind of like wasn't streaming all day because I was kind of like I was in my like my little dark zone where like I started thinking of like events from years ago, and I started to be sad boys over it again. As I really wish I never had to do that. You know, like dude, dude, that did not go well for my life. There were girls I was talking to like years ago who coincidentally, or maybe it's not coincidence, literally stopped talking to me right after that video. And I'm like, well, like I don't. This is the part of my life I don't like to talk about. That video did. You might be like, oh, I got some subs on Twitch for 1 month for it. Like, bro, I would so much rather have the universe where I didn't have to do that than the universe where I did have to do that. But I guess people can't really. Some people understand that, and some people don't. Yeah, I also think people should get what they deserve in life overall. Like, I think you could say, is this person good overall? And is this person good overall? Is this person trying to be better? Is that person trying to be better? Like, I think these are things that people don't talk about enough either. Or I think these are things that are like should be of high importance, not just oh, this guy did one bad thing, banned for life. This person did one bad thing, cancel. Unless that one thing is ridiculously unforgivable. And or ridiculously recent, but mostly it's like the level of how bad it is, or the number of terrible different things. Not like, oh, I was learning and developing as a human being or something. You know. Anyway, these are just different thoughts. And I get not everybody's the same, and that's not everybody cares. Some people just care about self-benefit, and other people just care about like morality. And for me, I'm also scared of going to hell for doing bad things. That's not really a very noble reason, but at least it keeps me consistent with like trying to be good, even though it's not for the best reason. That's like one of the things. But there's also times I'd feel bad for doing bad things because I don't want to hurt the other person because I want to feel in their shoes. I don't know. I have so many different thoughts on so many different things that I probably went off topic like 10 times. But yeah, just wanted to share some random thoughts because a lot of people have been asking about that stuff. With that said, if you're trying to help me out, I do sponsor stuff once a month. Check my Google Doc out. That's on my Twitch and YouTube. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get back to Fire Emblem now. I just want to talk about that for a bit.